Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Saturday, July 9th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out. Talking about my picks for the FanDuel main slate for today. It is a 9-game main slate overall, and then going over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we had Zach Gallen, $8,200, got to 24 points yesterday. Did give him a miss. He was kind of right on the borderline of miss and push yesterday since he was a paydown option. Unfortunately, he gave up 4 runs. If he doesn't do that, if he gets in that 6th inning, gets the win, we're looking at a guy that easily gets to 40 points. Just kind of unfortunate that it did not work out yesterday. Then at first baseman, we had Rhys Hoskins, one of the better hitters in terms of history yesterday versus Adam Wainwright. And unfortunately, he only got to 3 points, so he was a miss. He wasn't somebody that gave you that 0-point performance, but wasn't good yesterday by any means. Then at third base, we had Josh Donaldson, $2,500, got to 37.9 points, so he was a hit in the second overall third baseman on yesterday's slate. As I mentioned yesterday, a lot of good third base options out there, so getting a top 2 one is definitely something that was very valuable yesterday. Then we had Tim Anderson at $3,400. He got to 12.2 points, so he was a hit as well. And then Marcell Ozuna at $3,200 got to 13 points, so he was a hit. So a little bit of hit or miss day here. If we had just a little bit better pitcher play, probably had a really good chance of cashing yesterday, although it was a little bit higher scoring slate. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to today's picks. So we're going to start off with the pitcher position with Brandon Woodruff. $10,000, the exact same price tag as the last time he pitched. The exact same matchup against the Pittsburgh Pirates, which was the matchup the last time he pitched as well. Pitched pretty well in that game. Still a little bit of a pitch count in that game. We'll see if that changes today or not, but definitely a ton of upside there once again today. Then we're going to move down to the catcher position with his catcher, Omar Narvaez, $2,500. He's averaging just under 7.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against JT Brubaker and the Pittsburgh Pirates, stays 2 for 4 with 1 home run versus him in his career. So some pretty good upside there for a reasonable price tag. Then at second base, we'll move down to Ketel Marte at $3,100, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies. He's 11 for 32 with 1 home run versus him in his career. So a little bit of upside there, a little bit of decent history. Definitely somebody to consider on today's slate overall. Then we move down to his teammate in Josh Rojas at $2,800, averaging about 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He was the top overall third baseman on yesterday's slate. He's been hitting the ball very well. 1 for 2 versus Kyle Freeland in his career. Definitely not afraid to go back to Josh Rojas, especially at $2,800. The way he's been hitting, definitely should be a little bit higher price tag on him at this point in time. Then last but not least, we have Franmil Reyes at $2,500. Starting to heat up since he's been back. Averaging about 8 fantasy points per game on the season. Probably should have a more expensive price tag than $2,500 at this point in time. Goes against Jonathan Hazley, who he has no history versus in his career. Could be a matchup that favors the pitcher, but also could be a matchup that favors Franmil Reyes, who's hitting the ball very well once again. And you definitely get a ton of power upside out of him, especially at $2,500. You can't really beat that on today's slate overall. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $14,100 remaining. Just over $3,500 per player, so definitely a lot of room and flexibility to pay up. That's something that I do try to give you guys more often than not when I have the ability to do so. And with the pay down options that we do have today, some pretty good pay up options as well. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced build with the remaining spots all right around that $3,500 range, that's definitely something you could do as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. So the stacks that I do have for today are the Milwaukee Brewers going against JT Brubaker of the Pirates. Most of these Brewers hitters have pretty good history versus him, so definitely not afraid to explore that option once again today. Then we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have hit Kyle Freeland very, very well in the past. As I mentioned, Ketel Marte and Josh Rojas are both in my core plays for the day, so definitely some upside there. Maybe not a stack that gets as popular as some of the other ones on today's slate overall. Then I do have the Atlanta Braves going against Patrick Corbin, who's been arguably one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball this season. And the Braves have hit him very well throughout their respective careers. Then last but not least, we have the New York Mets going against Braxton Garrett of the Miami Marlins. They hit him pretty well last time out. Some decent history there, although it is limited history. And these Mets batters, a little bit of hit or miss in recent days, but they've been hitting the ball a little bit better as of late. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, July 9th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on today's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you had to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, mainly MLB at this point in time since that's the main sport going on. But once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular seasons, I'll be covering those two sports as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification button down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.